Really rubbish racing.
Hello, Really Rubbish Racing fans. Welcome to the Really Rubbish Racing Touring Car Championship Season 2 Race of Sweden. This is Event 3. I'm here, I'm Alex, I'm with Adam.
Hello.
And this week we're both joined by Jay Coops, who's not racing this weekend. Hello, Jay.
Hello, pleasure to be here.
We are, as the calendar shows there, or it did, we're in the Gothenburg City Arena circuit, perched on in a harbour in Gothenburg, isn't it, Adam?
Sure is. Yeah, very short circuit, 1.03 miles. 25-minute race, so we're looking at something like 31 laps. It's a very, very tight circuit, made of a couple of chicanes, 3 chicanes in a row, and then the lovely hairpin at the end of the course, which makes for some great overtaking opportunities. Yeah, should be an interesting race.
Quick look back at the Drivers' Championship standings. Blairy and Ollie Kay up there, 3 points between them in the Blair ones. Jay Coops. Jay, you're not racing this weekend. 3rd place. What's happened?
I've caught an injury from a charitable event, and I took a bit of a tumble, and I've got an injured shoulder. So turning the wheel has proven to be a bit difficult. So sadly, I have to miss out.
The old charity event chestnut. Well, we hope you're back in action soon. Here to replace you, as we've just seen on screen, first of all, there's the Honda of Northern Monkeys, Rat on Edge, who's finally turned up to a race. Kovamalia, his teammate, not racing this weekend, so they're swapping their car around. And Kimster in the Satellite Offenders team. Now, we're seeing a replay of what happened in practice earlier. This is on board with AJOK. A very nasty spill. And tumble, and it's lucky he's even in the race at all, but luckily Volvo keep quite a few of their cars in various containers around these docks, so I think they managed to source one. Anyway, here's the pole lap on board with Ollie Kay. Jay, do you want to take us around from a driver's eye view?
Yes, of course. And coming into turn 1, Ollie braking there, careful not to run too wide at turn 2, you end up cutting it. Ollie gets it nicely done there. Turn 3 down into 2nd gear, clipping the apex nicely onto the left-hand side. Turn 4, bringing the car immediately over to the right to line yourself up for 5 and 6. Plenty of curb at 6. And then at the tight chicane, again, plenty of curb. Flick around to the left and then heading down to the far chicane. A quick left and a right, making sure that you don't have any contact with the wall. Down the back straight, braking hard now for the final hairpin. 2nd gear, nice apex again there from Ollie. Looking for your exit point. And keeping the car to the left for the shortest run down to the line. And a fantastic lap there from Ollie for a 46.334, half a second ahead of his teammate for pole position.
That's his 2nd pole of the year. You took the other one at the opening round, and there it goes to show a full nearly half second ahead of his teammate Blairy. AJK a season best 3rd.
Okay, then we've got Smithy in 5th. 0.8 behind, Flavoury Rug 1.1, Tommy 1.4, and Bike Junior in 8th position.
10th is Dan Thorne and 11th Bukoy, a couple of seconds off. Quite a big grid, quite a good turnout for this race.
Sure is. Flobberdob unfortunately didn't manage to set a time, and neither did Masteron Wolf, bringing up the rear.
Right, the cars are lining up on the grid.
Oh, my steering wheel's shaking. I feel really sick. I'm really sick. I'm gonna be sick.
Got good news there from Smithy.
Not what you want before the race.
No, let's hope he hasn't vomited as the red lights go out and they're all away. A very fast starting BMW there. Now let's see if everyone makes it through these series of first corners. Bit of a bunch up ahead.
Oh my.
Oh.
Who's that? That looks like the brand new Northern Monkey's car of Rat on Edge, getting it all wrong at the first corner. But in all of the melee at the first corner, we have. That's
dear.
a bad hit. PY James, the first full foul of the fast chicane. We've had a lot of incidents through there, and clipped by his independent teammate there.
This is a chaotic start.
Smithy flashing his lights there. Trying to get who is that in front of him? Is that Blairy out of the way?
Yeah, I think it is.
That is Blair in third, and see what happened to PY James here. Very hit by a Kaibatsu BMW. Very slow into the fast chicane though. Not sure if he had a problem.
I think he was trying to let the Kaibatsu driver through after contact earlier in the lap, but chose possibly the worst place to let him through. And
talking about bad places,
ow.
that's AGOK in the Power Volvo. See what happened here alongside Dan Thorne. Or a little nudge, Dan gets sideways.
Right, Dan was taking a wider line.
And
AJ thought there was a gap there, and sadly that gap was always going to close.
Race Pro also getting all caught up in the incident there. Oh, good camera shot.
So Jay, already we've 3 laps in, we've already seen 2 crashes at that fast chicane. What's it like to drive?
It's a fairly difficult part of the track. Very narrow. Very small margin for error. You got to get the line absolutely spot on through there, because if you don't, then you can clip the barrier quite easily, and end up facing the wrong way and causing a bit of a pile up and a bit of an accident, as we've seen 3 laps in now. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to see plenty more of that over the next duration of the race, and most certainly for the next race as well.
Plenty of chicanes on this circuit. Here's your teammate Jay, Avery Rugg.
Yep, chasing
Get
down
held up here.
Designer Soup.
Say chasing down, but there's been a the spread hasn't been as much this circuit. I mean, short circuit, so the lap time's not as long, but and it's harder to pass.
It is, with it being narrow.
Fair few cars out of position.
Yeah, it is going to be very hard to pass, and as you say, the lap times, they're the margin between the fastest and slowest lap times are a lot smaller than what you would get on a wider, more open area track. Particularly with this length of track as well. It's just over a mile long.
Having said that, Flavoury makes it through into what was 6th place. We have Blairy overtaking Tommy B. Now Tommy B's not had too much luck in the series so far, but he's battling for a podium position here. We know he's fast, and he's in one of the fastest cars of this Seat Leon, the other being the Chevrolet. So we're looking forward to some decent results here.
Team radio?
Right.
Okay, I set the thing to do the pit menu, and it lost it. Well, that was a complete waste of my time.
Well, someone's not happy.
We apologise for the language there. The universal language of the beep. Race Pro seemingly his race is over.
Smithy taking a look on the inside.
Manages to hold the position though. Dan Thorne very slow through the hairpin there, final hairpin.
Yeah, very wide Alfa Romeo. Taking another look for turn 1 though. Being a bit hopeful of trying to make the place there.
And we know Dan's a tough racer, he's not going to give it up easily. But he's certainly got to look after his tyres, because they've got to do 31 laps. And with a lot of heavy braking in this circuit. That's asking quite a lot of these Yokohama tyres.
Yeah, Jay, what are the tyres like at the end of the race? What's the wear around this circuit like?
It's very tough. It's very hard on the tyres, particularly when you're fully laden with fuel. It tends to burn the rubber a lot quicker, and then as the car gets lighter, the grip's already gone, so you tend to not go as fast as what you'd hope to be, and plenty of understeer, particularly on this track where there's plenty of chicanes and hairpins. It's going to be pretty tough.
So what can a driver do to combat that understeer? As we see Smithy up the inside of Tommy B. Yeah, sorry. Continue, Jay.
Sorry, Adam. To combat the understeer, it's probably best to certainly not brake as hard. If you've got most of your bias or your braking, if most of the work is acting on the front brakes, if you stop the locking up, which will certainly flat spot the tyres, and that will have a big effect. So just maybe a lift and coast, not brake quite as heavily, not turn in quite as sharp either. Try and make a line through a corner as shallow as you can to limit the scrubbing off of the tyres, and hopefully that should save you a bit of grip for later on in the race.
Here's another issue this circuit is going to show. We're coming out. The leaders are now lapping the back markers, which with some in-car radio.
My internet is very broken.
Dan Thorne there reporting some suspension damage. I think may be sustained in his earlier incident with AJOK. The leader's now coming up on back markers, and with a less than a 50-second lap, that's going to happen sooner than most other circuits. Ukoi tries to go up the inside of one of the Kobatsu cars there, giving him a bit of a tag, and we saw Dan Thorne and Designer Soup there have a similar incident a couple of laps ago while Jay was explaining the nuances of driving to us, and these two having a ding-dong battle for the 6th and 7th here. They've been pretty close in other races, both in the Independence Championship, of course. Different discipline, Jay. If there's a single driver on a pair of you.
Sorry, what was the question again, Alex? I didn't hear as Adam was trying to speak as well.
Dan Thorne and Designer Soup both in the Independence Cup, so they've got no one to back them up. How is that play on your mind as a driver?
What in terms of the Independent Championship, you mean?
Yes, and not having a teammate.
So meaning you haven't got a rear gunner to sort of help you, create a gap, if you like, against your other competitors. It's quite difficult. It can be very difficult. You just have to, it's just one of the things where you just have to get on with it and, do your best to try and hassle the person in front of you. Hope they make a mistake and make up the places that way.
Talk about hassling. Here's two guys who are teammates, the power pair, although AJOK one lap down now behind Bukoi, so trying to unlap himself possibly, or Designer Soup getting a bit wrong there through the slow chicane. These barriers so close, aren't they, Adam?
Sure are. The Designer Soup is having a great run. What is he now? He's in 7th, I believe, just behind Dan Thorne.
Yeah, these guys are 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
Got his Astra hooked up perfectly for this circuit, and Dan's Alpha still churning out tons of tyre smoke, as we saw at Brands Hatch. His setup, very strange setup he's got on that car.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of understeer on that car, particularly on when powering down.
Bukoi here chasing Lin, who's who's having another good race actually. The Kaibatsu cars making themselves a nuisance, but some solid some solid performances. Currently 8th was Lynn. Bit of a Lynn train though.
Considering that car's rear-wheel drive as well around this track is a lot more difficult to drive around than the front-wheel drive cars. So it's a good job there from Lynn.
What are the main differences between the front and the rear-wheel drive cars in touring cars?
The front-wheel drive cars tend to get pulled around the track a lot more, around the corners, particularly on a track like this. Personally, I feel that's a better thing. With the rear-wheel drive, you've got the power heading to the rear, so when you tend to put your foot down, the rear wheels spin up a bit more, the tail can get a little bit off balance, as Lynn just...
Oh, as we've seen there.
There's a perfect example.
You say it.
Yep. Bit of fishtailing, and that's too much on the throttle there as he's coming out of the corner. And spinning the rear wheels, you can't get the power down, and that was a result of what happened to Lynn there. But
is Dan Thorne still defending his position? Sorry, Jay, carry on.
Sorry, but preferably the front wheel drive cars are the more ideal car for this track. So both BMWs, if they're going to have a few troubles getting around, getting a decent result for this event.
They're now both holding on to the final 2 points positions. I guess that's why we've seen possibly the BMWs holding the other cars up, that they're not quite as efficient around this track, but the nature of the track means that the faster front wheel drive cars can't get past.
Yeah, quite, yeah. It's particularly with the BMWs with rear-wheel drive as well, you do tend to get, in a straight line, you can get the power down more. So that can always be a big advantage to them, which is probably why they are struggling to get, the front-wheel drive cars are struggling to get past the BMWs down the straight lines. And in the corners, they're catching up with them nicely, but when coming down the straights, they haven't got the power in them to get past.
About halfway through the race now, Dan Thorne, Racing Colour, still going at it everywhere they possibly can, which on this circuit is everywhere. And we cut back now. Who are we with? We're on board with Tommy in his orange WTF1 Seat Leon, defending still
wide.
from running wide. Luckily the barrier was there to catch him. Wavery trying everything he can to pass Tommy, but Tommy's no slouch, and they're on merit, doing a very good job.
Yeah, good defensive driving there from Tommy.
Adam, do you think we'll see? A resurgence from Tommy in the Independence Championship now that he's turning up for races and hopefully doing well?
I do hope so. I mean, didn't make the first 2 rounds in Imola, but attempted to race at Brands Hatch, but 2 DNFs unfortunately. So this is a really good showing, and because he really did show some good pace at Brands Hatch, especially in practice before the race. So hopefully, we can see him work his way up that Independence Trophy Championship. Still a lot to play for, so all the best to him.
Plenty of races left to go indeed, but this is far more his true showing. He's obviously a race winner in other really rubbish racing championships, especially touring car disciplines, very similar to AJOK and Bukoi, the 2 power drivers in that sense. On to lap 19 now, still holding third. The 2 Blair 1 cars seem to have disappeared from camera shot, so unless something goes drastically wrong there, it's unlikely that they will be caught by these 2. Which way round they were finished, though, is always a question with the 2 drivers so close at the top of the drivers' standings.
Yeah, just to correct you, Alex. Though I think Tommy's in 4th, Smithy's in 3rd. But I'll let you have that one.
Oh yes, he did get past, didn't he? See, it's all this juicy, in-depth driver information from Jay.
Yeah,
Just too good.
it's great to have you on board, Jay.
Well, it's good to be here. Obviously, I'd rather be on the track, but it is what it is.
When do you think you'll be back behind that wheel?
I'm hoping to be back for the round at Macau, or the 2 rounds at Macau rather. I'm certainly hoping to be back for the final 2 rounds at Zolder, one of my most favourite tracks, so I don't want to miss that one out.
Good stuff.
We'll certainly have you back if you can't make any of the races in between, of course. It'd be great to have you and your insights. There's no doubt you'll be following the championship anyway.
Oh, of course, yeah. Got to see which Blair 1 car is gonna, or which Blair 1 driver is gonna take the title.
Speaking of the Blair 1 drivers, they're caught up with the back markers here, separated by 3 of them. It's very messy at the moment.
Ollie K seems to have made a better journey through the back markers than...
Bit of a shock there from Pete. Bukoy.
Damn it.
Was it a chop by Bukoy or a love tap from Lynn? Either way, they're going to have to get out of the way of Blairy soon, otherwise they'll get some... they'll be seeing more blue flags than they...
No. Oh.
Looks like Blairy's getting a little impatient there.
Still though, blue flags in effect, and the drivers need to get out the way as soon as possible, which granted is difficult on this circuit, but they need to do it. Mordecai Butsukar's taking a very shallow line through that corner, which is allowed. The barriers through there are the limits, not the curbing. It's been deemed by Really Rubbish Race Control.
It looked like a bit of tyre smoke there from Lynn on the front tyres, which means losing a bit of front grip at this late stage in the race.
At least the front tyres are only doing the steering and not the driving as well. We'll see
Exactly,
from the Chevrolet there. Your Chevrolet's very, very, very tough on tyres. We've seen, especially at Brands Hatch.
It's quite a clumsy car when it comes to turning in. Can be a bit of a difficult one to master.
Like quite a disadvantage on racetracks, what with all their corners and that.
Yes, yeah. If it was a drag race, they'd win hands down. In front wheel drive
maybe the
cars
BMW
wise,
would get
yeah,
you.
the Beamer would probably have the legs on it in that way, but front wheel drive cars certainly.
Yeah. That's the pace for 4th.
It is. Flaviry's finally got the legs on Tommy there. Coming up now behind the wonderful bright pink and baby blue Defender's car of Kimster. His first outing, champion elsewhere in Really Rubbish Racing, but not having the best of times this weekend. You caught up with him, Adam, before his debut. What did he have to say?
I don't think I can repeat what he said. He's well known in the club to be quite crude, but he's looking forward to racing in this championship. A bit doubtful of having a particularly strong showing, but he's getting his miles in and just taking this as a test session, really. Running down in, is it 13th at the moment, I think?
Somewhere near the back.
Yeah.
If you're keeping track, then I'll believe what you say, and we'll go for 13.
It sounds about right.
Smithy again,
flashing his lights as always.
Yeah.
Oh my!
And that's by Junior.
By Junior and Bukoy coming together, not sure who was at fault, if either of them there. But getting all out of sorts through the fast chicane.
It's just the problem with back markers is that, you know, they're having their own battles and drivers are trying to come past. You know, they've got blue flags to worry about. But they've got to make sure that they don't lose a position to the people that they're fighting with. And maybe that's what happened here.
Flavoury Rug, he's got past Tommy, but he's certainly not pulling away. Tommy very close there through the mid stages of the track, or of that lap. Although he's losing out now a bit as they go down the home straight.
Big lock up there from Bukoy into the stadium hairpin there. Nearly taking out Smithy, who's just lapped him. Is that correct? Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been a little bit of a faux pas for the power driver. On board here with Ollie Kay, his designer soup in his colour racing Astra moves aside for him. One of the easier places to let the leaders through, certainly, on the nice long front straight. Magical cameras there. Stronger than Armco barriers.
So Jay, riding on board with Ollie Kay, what do you think sets him apart from the other drivers? He seems very smooth with his inputs.
He does, yes. His eye for the racing line is very good as well. He brakes nicely, he turns in nicely, pretty much finds every apex on each lap in the corners. Just very rarely makes a mistake. He's certainly not made one throughout the race. And apart from a little lock up there, but still manages to find the apex for turn 3. But no, he's just very focused, and when you're up against a driver like that, it's very hard to try and wear them down and trying to make him make a mistake. It's very difficult.
So does it become more of a case of mind games rather than just on track, physical battles between the cars? You've just got to try and get inside the head of your opponent to force them into a mistake. It
can well be, yeah. I mean, particularly for me, with through the early stages of this season, to get a pole position is a very psychological advantage to yourself.
That's Smithy there. Cut across you, Jay. Smithy's had a coming together with Wolf, another driver in the Chevrolet.
Oh,
is that
both continued?
That's Bike Junior.
Bike Junior.
The tyres must be.
That was
tyres must be wearing.
But he managed to squeeze between a gap between Smithy and the wall as they were having an accident. So whether he's picked up some damage and that's caused him to spin at the hairpin, I don't know. But very, very risky with with 2 laps left to go now. As Ollie Kay who's in the lead? Ollie Kay crosses the.
There he is.
They're so interchangeable, those two Blair 1 drivers.
With By Junior's spin, it certainly looked like as if it was too early on the throttle and he just lit up the rear tyres and ended up facing the wrong way.
Let's hope he doesn't repeat that too many times this season, because his driving when he's pointing in the right direction certainly good for possibly podiums. Definitely points places. He's knocking on the door of the podiums, that's for sure.
Certainly improving every time. He's had
okay, now down the start finish straight onto the final lap of the race, as confirmed by a lovely new final lap graphic. Isn't that great?
Whoop whoop.
Wing mirror going through the barrier there as well, and
the whole front of the car almost. Bit of clipping, but we can live with that.
Are they flexible barriers or something, are they? Have they put up a new sort of barrier? Sort of tend to flex and allow the impact of the car a little bit before it sort of throws it back onto the track.
I think they're special virtual barriers. I think it's got something to do with it. But once again, another sterling drive from Ollie K as he rounds the final corner and takes a gentle stroll to the finish line. Very gentle stroll to the finish line.
Oh, nice little celebration.
Lovely little skid there, and that's what is that? That is his second win in a row, and
It is,
the
yeah.
first person to win 2 races this season. Ball with AJOK now, had a torrid race, from 3rd on the grid, couldn't capitalise after that early incident with Dan Thorne. He was a lap down. Just out of the points in 11th. Ollie K then certainly can be celebrating with the Swedish meatballs tonight. And there we have it. There we see why he was so slow to the line, just to make the 25 minutes cut-off point for the race. Had plenty of time back to Larry in 2nd, Smithy, Black Cats rounding out the podium in 3rd. Very good result for him. Flavoury Rug 4th, and then a trio of independent guys.
So then we've got Bukoy in 9th, first the Power Polestar drivers, and Bike Junior taking the final point 1 lap down. Then AJOK, as you said, he had 2 laps down with Pike James. Kimster Magnum finishing his first race 4 laps down, and unfortunately no finishes from Master Wolf, Flobberdob, and Race Pro, and Rat on Edge drowned. Rest in peace.
I'm sure they'll fish him out for the second race, and we hope you've enjoyed this first race, and we hope you will join us for the next race up here at Gothenburg City Arena in Sweden. Thank you very much to Adam.
Cheers, Alex. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you very much to Jay. We hope you'll be back with us. See you later.